Porzingis, you got Holiday, you got Derek White, you got literally, I would say what, 5 guys can get you 20 points in a game?
I know people will say it's, only one guy. I don't believe that, Coach, that, one guy, those days are over, in my opinion. Like, a Bill Russell, a Wilt Chamberlain.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
You're going a little deep bomb hunting here. We don't care that we have the one heavy favorite with Rory, a couple other guys like Fleetwood and Tagala, etc. You're going to go a little deeper down the board.
This course, I think, is going to play a little bit more to the wedges. They have, what they did is they've renovated it to basically block off some of the bombing alleys for these guys. They've narrowed the fairways.
Pharrell Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
Garrett Cole's getting ready to come back too. I guess this, look, they've played great without him, but you're not going to say to Garrett Cole, look, don't come back. I mean, it's a ridiculous conversation to have.
They're not going to take any unnecessary chances. And look, they're at the point where they have a lead. They certainly are going to make the playoffs, I would say, barring some sort of complete collapse. And that's all it takes.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
8 playoff games at home for Boston in Beantown. They are 6-2 straight up.
The wild card, I would say, in this game is not necessarily, well, what are we going to get out of Luka Doncic, Kyrie Irving, Brown, and certainly Tatum. It is Kristaps Porzingis to me, because we're not getting back a player that's like, hey, rotational guy. Like, remember when Derek Lively went down with an injury? He was playing well, but a young player, like a piece.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
It's Pharrell on the bench in the biggest way possible, hanging out the bad seed, broken in a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh, people drive some plastic bags, directed traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, shadoobie. And in Monmouth County, near the Stone Pony, with the one and only Coach James Young, who has a proliferation of draft skinny today, along with Foster's Lager and Sammy Cheers Malone Yarnell, Preston Pacer, and Matty Dore the Ball Carrier. This is Betting Above the Rim on a Sunday, brought to you by BetMGM. So we're going to have in this hour, allegedly, the Kevin Walsh on, I'm sure, to break down the draft special that's going down Wednesday and Thursday on SportsGrid. And, of course, a 5-minute knobbing of the Lakers while we're at it. Did you like that one, Coach? And then, he loves LeBron, my boy, Kevin. KW loves him some LeBron. Ever since I met Walsh, and I've known Walsh before SportsGrid, this guy never stops talking about LeBron James. God bless him. He loves Rack. That's all that matters to me. We'll talk about everything. Bronny, James, you name it, the betting markets for the draft. And, of course, there's 4 WNBA games today, 3 of them at 3 o'clock, 1 of them at 4 o'clock. The one at 4 is conducive to major violence in the Windy City as the new rivals, the Sky and Fever, hook up for some more tension, cheap shots, cheap talk, and whatever else you want to call it, between Clark, Reese, and her friends. I actually think, Coach, believe it or not, I know the Fever are on fire, but they played yesterday and won. I think they lose today in Chicago because that team hates them so much. Like, sometimes you can win a game just on hate alone. We hate these guys. We're going to beat them no matter what it takes, who we got to hurt. I don't care. And I actually, was it Feverland 1.5 or Skyland 1.5 in that one, Coach?
The line flipped. I think earlier in the day it was the other way around. I thought the Fever were the favorites. Now it's the Sky right now on BetMGM as a 2.5 point favorite, minus 130 on the money line. And it presents an intriguing matchup today because, let's be honest, Indiana Fever have won both matchups. The Indiana Fever and the Caitlin Clark have gotten the better of the matchup. So to me, when you look at it is, can they do it again? To me, I've liked the way the Fever has played as of late. I've come around to this team, Pharrell, because let's be honest, we talked about it. They have the ability to practice. They've had the ability to do things. And obviously, they're coming off. They did have a day off, Pharrell, so they did play Friday night, 91-79 win Indiana had at Atlanta. I think when you look at particularly the play of the Indiana Fever, so much is focused on Caitlin Clark. Pharrell, to me, it's been the play of Aaliyah Boston. I think Aaliyah Boston's been fantastic. I get she only had 10 points last game on Friday night, but she was 5 double-double. Right, but a double-double, her ability to roll in the pick-and-roll situation, she presents herself to be problems. I don't know if the Sky are going to be able to contain that. So I still like, to be honest with you, the Fever to win until they don't lose to the Sky.
Yeah, you're right. They played Friday. I was thinking of the Liberty, who played yesterday, didn't cover against Lipstick City Sparks, and they play again today. The Liberty, they're the ones that have to go back-to-back, and they had to fly to Atlanta to take on the Dream, so we'll talk about that. I know you're excited about the draft on Wednesday. We're going to be talking heavy draft all day today. What's your initial thoughts outside of the Richiche projection that you made as the number one on this show on Coast to Coast over and over for weeks now? We've talked about that. What else are you intrigued about besides that pick? I think that pick's probably inevitable now. The odds have flipped so strongly in his favor from where it was before. What else are you excited about besides him? Another guy that no one's ever heard of or seen play. And I'm done listening to people around here or anywhere else talk like they've seen all these foreign kids play basketball. They're all full of Shaq. They've not watched one game. They may have seen a highlight on SportsCenter, and then they act like they're all experts and geniuses. Let's not kid ourselves here, Coach, about these foreign players. I mean, I know a few of them, and I know that a couple of them have injuries. I know that they're going to get a lot of stock in this draft. They're going to go, and a lot of these high picks are going to go with foreigners. It is what it is. But let's not kid ourselves around here like everybody's watched all these kids play ball. How about ever? I'm gonna take the under on how many times people have seen them play. I'm gonna say never, as in under never. They've never seen them play. They're all lying. They've seen highlights, maybe at best. Don't sit here and tell me there's guys watching games in France down here in Homedale. I don't want to hear it.
Well, listen, unfortunately, that's where we're going to have to go.
Right.
Because I know you're right. But a guy that's intriguing, that's moved up the draft boards is Tijan Salam. This guy was somewhere, in the teens. I have him firmly in my top 10 at minus 115 on BetMGM. He's been moving the last couple of weeks. Big-time defender, 6'9". Just had his best shooting from three in his career. 7'1" wingspan. Really good getting to the rim. And obviously a plus defender because of his length. Now, obviously, the translation to the next level is always going to be the thing. So, to me, the guy I'm looking at is Tijan Salam. Let's see how high he goes up. I would not look at him as a top 5 pick. I know there's some odds for him to go top 5. I don't think he goes there. But I think he can get there at minus 115 to go in the top 10, maybe in that 9-10 range.
I've heard, 10 to 15. Like I've seen the Thunder are interested in him. 6'9", scored about 8 a clip. When you're that big, though, 3 rebounds a game to me is soft. I got to be honest with you. Shoots 36% from the floor, 32% from 3, average at the free throw line as well. Why is his stock rising so much? Because he's 6'9"? Because those numbers aren't impressive to me.
Well, he's 6'9" with a 7'1" wingspan. You look at the athleticism and you think, can he be developed and can it translate? And I think that's the thing that you have to look at. But when you start looking at it, like, let's be honest, Fro, we've talked about this. Alex Sarr, 9.6, 4.5 rebounds per game in the Pro League. Ricochet, 11.1 points per game, right? So when you start looking at some of these guys, Pharrell, these Europeans, it's not like they put up these ridiculous stats. And sometimes people look at those European leagues as being ultra competitive and ultra aggressive. I mean, the one that's maybe got the best out of it is Nikola Topic, the point guard, the crafty point guard out of Serbia, who's injured. So that's why he's starting to, slip down a little bit. So that's where it gets interesting with these Europeans, is the fact of they're injured, or they don't have a lot of tape, Pharrell, or their stats don't really pale to comparison what they think. So what you do, Pharrell, is you draft on potential.
Okay, well, Topic is getting drafted, even though the knee, because he's a 18 to 20 a game player who's got big size for a guard. I like that 6'6" guard. I like that he scores 18 points a game and goes to the 10. He's more of a, frankly, and I'll compare no one to the whiny crybaby B, Luka, but Luka's unstoppable going to the basket and scoring and step backs and wing daggers and whatever he wants. I think Topic is the same kind of player, attacks the 10 and gets a lot of his buckets at the 10 or at the free throw line. We'll talk draft all day on Betting Above the Rim.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau!
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
Remember, John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently. Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys making this look so easy.
Tyrrell having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I've had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
All right, Betting Above the Rim brought to you by BetMGM. Coach, let's go through the odds for these top 10 picks. According to BetMGM, we'll start with the number 1 pick in the draft. Do we have that graphic for the top pick in the NBA draft on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Fro, let's be honest. I've been saying this, I would say, for the better part of a month, right? I thought that Zachary Ricochet was going to be the number 1 pick. I like his upside. I like his ability to shoot the ball from 3. And then when Evan Sider reported a couple of weeks back that they thought that Atlanta was entertaining training either DeAndre Hunter, and then there was another report came out that had Donovan Clingan maybe being drafted because they may move Clint Capella. That's when the odds shifted. So it says right there, Zachary Richelet is minus 140 to be the number one pick. I will say I just looked at it a couple of minutes ago. I think it's already now at minus 165. So he is continuing to move and be a strong favorite to be the number one pick. The second overall option is obviously Donovan Clingan. That's because of the fact that Alex Sarr has not presented himself an opportunity to work out for the Atlanta Hawks at one. Maybe that's partly to be about his thought process of maybe what Quinn Snyder did with Rudy Gobert, the fellow Frenchman. So right now, Richelet is minus 165, Clingan plus 170, 5-1 Alex Sarr. That is just current. That is as of this second. But I am most comfortable with Richelet at minus 165 going first.
Well, I don't believe that, and I'll believe it when I see it, that Klingan's going number one. It's not happening. Not only that, he's not going number two either. I don't think he's going number two. Let's look at the second overall pick odds. I believe that those odds are still ripe right there with Sarr going number two, minus 500. I've seen Clingan at 6, going in as the 6th pick, and all this talk about him being the number one pick. Frankly, I think people are imagining things. I think you're right about Richelet. Do you believe the second pick is Sarr that was originally the number one pick? And I'll give you this, like what you said previously about stats in Europe, right? Fair enough. But let's face facts. The kid, Richelet, he averages over double-figure scoring, and there's other guys that average double-figure scoring. Sarr was averaging around 9 points, right? So he wasn't even double-figure scoring. Do you think that's why it caught up with him and the train passed him? Richelet's rocket train passed right by him based on people saying, this kid, you and I've discussed this before, that kid Sarr was like the 4th best player on his national team. He wasn't even the 1, 2, or 3 choice to get the pill.
Well, here's the thing, and let's be honest here. The reason why Sarr has probably moved more than anything, Pharrell, simply put, he would have worked out for Atlanta. The kid went to Washington to work out, but he didn't go to Atlanta to work out. That simply put, when that came out, Pharrell, that is when it moved. To me, I always thought it was Richelet. I always believed it was Richelet. But with the number 2 pick, if you think about it, right, Sarr makes sense. Why? You traded Daniel Gafford, right? Then you can go with that front court of even if maybe it's Corey Kispert, but obviously Kuz and Alex Sarr in center position. They're piss poor defensively. You're not going to go with Tyus Jones. You're probably bringing them back. You got Jordan Poole at the 2. So if you look at just where their need is, Pharrell, simply put, looking at a team like that, their need for Washington is a rim protector. They need someone that is going to be able to defend at the center position.
That's what he does.
And that's what he does. So that's where that fits in. So to me, out of all the top 3, that's the one that's firmly there because there's no way Atlanta takes him at 1, right? No way he goes Atlanta at 1. So then it's either Clingan or Richelet at 1, which means Sarr probably signs himself to 2. The only reason, and this may be wild, the only way that Richelet goes 2 if it's Clingan goes 1, which I don't think is going to happen. I don't think it's happening. That doesn't make sense.
It's not happening.
It doesn't make sense. No.
You've sat here for a month and said Richelet is going number 1, and you're not saying Klingan's going number 1. You're saying that's the only way. Well, that's not happening. So let's stop with that rhetoric. The kid has. Let's face facts, right? Like honestly. So you already know it's Richelet. So forget about Clingan for a minute. Talk about Sarr. The kid uses his body well. He has good hands. He can put it in. They say he's ugly the way he shoots, but the ball goes in. Well, it helps to be 7 foot, but has good hands. He's not a Stonehenge, we call them, guys with stone hands that, you throw the ball to him and they can't catch it. and they lose balls out of bounds and everything else. I need guys that, grab the rock when it's thrown to him. He defends, he rebounds, he's 7 foot, and has good hands. That's all you need to know. They're not basing anything off of his crappy numbers in Europe. I mean, that's just the facts, right? But numbers don't show up with, the fact that he uses his body the right way, positions his feet the right way, has good hands, and alters shots and block shots and gets rebounds. Like, I don't know how many times you and I've had this conversation. If you rebound and screen and you're good at that, you're as valuable as anyone on the floor in a basketball game. The guy that grabs all the rebounds and the guy that sets screens that lead to buckets is as much of a badass as a two guard that can shoot in a corner. I don't care what anybody says. If you're a guy that gets all the rebounds and you're the guy that sets all the screens, you're a badass. And that's what this kid does.
Well, I'm going to give you the comparison, the low ceiling and the high ceiling, based on how he is. Low ceiling, Nick Claxton. Lob threat, rebounds, switches on defense, freakishly athletic, can switch off 1 through 5 on ball screens. If he gets the jumper, which is not good, it's Jaren Jackson Jr. Just think, if you think about Nick Claxton versus Jaren Jackson Jr., what's the difference? Jackson Jr. may not shoot a great from 3, but he's got a 3-point shot.
He can shoot it.
Right. Sora has shot it not well. He's got to improve. He wants to be like JJ.
They already know his shot sucks. I think they've accepted the fact that he can't shoot.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently.
Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys make this look so easy.
Tyrrell having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
All right, so back on Betting Above the Rim, brought to you by BetMGM. We bring in the Kevin Walsh, who's ready for Wednesday and Thursday, the double dip draft, the dab draft, 2 days of NBA draft. Are you kidding me, KW? Wednesday night, our special on SportsGrid. We're going to have it both nights, covering the draft, unequaled by our peers. What are you excited about, KW?
Oh, I mean, the fact that they're doing 2 nights, I think, is really interesting, Scott. I don't know if because they decided to do 2 nights, the second night being at 4 p.m. is odd. It kind of works for us. I know you guys on Coast to Coast are going to knock out all that live coverage, and JY and I will stop by. I don't know if at all it kind of tips the hand that they think that Bronny will kind of drive the day 2 coverage of the whole thing. I think there's probably somewhat banking on that, which is, I think, still the biggest storyline of this draft. I know he's not going first, despite the fact that people have spent a lot of money betting him to go first overall, but he has the most odds up of any player in the class, and it's potentially tied to where LeBron goes, which we know is a big deal.
Where do you think he's going? You're a Laker guy, a LeBron guy. I've heard, late that he'd be like, one of the last picks. The Lakers would get him at 55. Are you buying that or selling that?
If he goes 55, I think that means that the clutch group kind of put a stranglehold on everybody else and made sure that happened. I think there's been enough smoke around Bronny that another team would be willing to draft him inside the top 50, call it. And I think the Lakers are kind of playing a little bit of a dangerous game, guys, if they don't take him at 17. Again, I know nobody thinks he'll go 17, but if they pass on LeBron's son, and LeBron does have a desire to play with Bronny no matter what they say, it's going to leave the door open. It'll depend where Bronny goes. If it's the Raptors, I don't think LeBron's going to go play up north. But if it's the Knicks, I think he's going to give that some consideration. I really do.
Coach?
I think it was funny as Kevin's talking about him not going 17. I wonder if there's a case where, ready, folks? Do the Lakers trade back until later in the first round if they can pick up some additional draft capital or pick up a contract, because they don't have the ability to really go out there and really go into free agency and get a bunch of guys? Do they try and do that? Maybe tag a D'Lo or someone, or Rui Hachimura, a contract with that pick at 17 to move back later in the first round to maybe find a way to get some of that dead weight off the team, but then get Bronny at a lower number and get us other pieces. Kevin, what do you think about maybe a trade back? Could that be in the cards?
So in a perfect world, they can just sit there and wait for 55. And I know there are some who believe Bronny isn't even a top 60 talent in this class. That's neither here nor there. But the whole time they've been using Phoenix at 22 to, I think, still apply some pressure. Because there's a world that if I know, Scott, you're not in on Bronny the player, right? If I said, hey, Lakers trade back to 28, do you think you'll be there? Well, if Scott was in charge of every team, of course Bronny would be there. But Phoenix might take him at 22, and we know that the clutch group, there's ties to James Jones. I don't know how LeBron will react to the Lakers potentially passing on Bronny. Because, again, forget what anybody here thinks of Bronny. You know who's in on Bronny, the talent? LeBron. He's been tweeting about that kid being NBA ready for the last 3 years. So he won't think it's a bad decision if the Lakers draft him.
Well, look, I'm not going to argue with you that I wouldn't draft him that high. And I do believe in his body. I do believe in his genes. I do believe in his acumen for the game. I still believe he's a college basketball player. I think he should be playing in college basketball for another year and lighting people up and then going high in next year's draft. I'm just not changing that opinion. I'm sure someone's going to draft him. I'm sure he's going. I'm sure he's going to be in the NBA. But I said to Coach a million times, I think he should still be balling in college. And that's just all there is to it. Can we do we got to pay this guy? Can we get him to stay for another segment? Do we got to pay him? Because this little 6-minute thing is just not even scratching my itch. Can we keep the Kevin Walsh for another segment without any problems? I'll fight anyone that wants to take him off the set right now. I will fight anyone. I'll fight you too, Coach. Don't start with me, Sushi.
I like that.
U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently.
Yeah, another beautiful shot. This guy's making this look so easy.
Tyrrell Hatton having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I've had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
All right, back on Betting Above the Rim. I have been threatened already on this show that I have only a limited amount of time to spend with Kevin Walsh. Now, Wednesday, he's doing the draft special on SportsGrid. Thursday, I'll be there, and I'll have him on as long as I want. I may have him on for an entire hour on the Coast to Coast. So they'll tell me, we got to have Kevin on for 7 minutes. And I go, 7 minutes. How about 57 minutes?
A lot of K-Dub. It's a lot of K-Dub.
Now these two guys are ganging up on me, this Walsh and this coach, that, I'm crazy and that the kid's an NBA player. You know what I say? He'll be at the end of the bench, calling his daddy, seeing if his daddy can get him some burn in the league.
Can I just say this, though? The Lakers last year picked in the same spot, took Jalen Hood-Schifino out of Indiana, right? A sophomore, way more proven. When they talk about young prospects on the Lakers, they don't even bother bringing his name up. They bring up 27-year-old Rui Hachimura before they bring up this Hood-Schifino.
They're not getting rid of Hachimura, but I'll give you this. Hood-Schifino was a better college basketball player than Bronny James was.
Right, that's right. But the thing is, they swung and missed. So I'll tell you, at the end of the day, if Bronny's going to keep LeBron, it's an A-plus pick. It's an A-plus pick if it keeps LeBron in that building.
Coach told me yesterday that LeBron's going to play till he's 60, like Gordie Howe.
If he wants to, he probably could, Scott. I mean,
he's going to play till he's 60. If he gets a 3-year deal with this new deal, this opt-out and new deal, how long does he play, KW?
2 years. It gets him to year 23, and the last year – the All-Star game is where the Lake crypto, it's at crypto. It'll be the perfect little swan song. He'll get everything he's going to possibly want, play 23 years. I think you're talking 2 years, and he's gone, which is a shame.
So I want to know what you think happens to Edey and Filipowski at the next level. Two bigs.
So can I pitch anyone on the Sixers drafting Zach Edey as an Embiid filler? I know that might sound crazy because Embiid is, one of the most dominant bigs in the sport, but we saw it in the postseason. They removed Joel from the floor, and it all falls apart. I'm not telling you Zach Edey is going to have a Joel Embiid impact. That's insane. But getting to throw a difference maker 7'4" guy on the court for 12 minutes a night is I think not a bad move for the Philadelphia 76ers. You can still throw some post touches there. And again, at 7'4", there's more mobility than I think plenty people were initially expecting. So that's one of my potential favorite landing spots as it pertains to Zach Edey. Filipowski's tricky. We've seen a lot of people project him to be a top 20 pick. I think one of the most important things, Scott, is going to be him having to add muscle, because he can step out and shoot it. He can put it on the floor a little bit. But if he's going to get bulldozed on defense, and I'm not talking about bulldozed by Nikola Jokic, I'm talking about getting bulldozed by Jaylen Brown, because there's way more meat on the bone there. That's where Filipowski is going to have to try and close that gap.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with that, Coach.
No, I think Edey's attractive, and I think you have to look at teams that either want to protect their 4, or there's cases of people saying he can go as high as 12 to Oklahoma City, because to protect Chet, if that makes sense. But also look at teams like Philadelphia. Kevin makes a good point, that have low post game and run their game through the low post, because you don't have to adjust much first team to second team. And I do think Zach showed an ability on ball screen to be more effective. To me, when I look at Zach, I look at what Matt Painter didn't do. It shouldn't be an indictment of who the kid is. They played him in a certain way at Purdue. I think he can be better at the next level. When you look at Filipowski, guys, I close my eyes, I see Kelly Olynyk. Right? I see Kelly Olynyk. Decent pro, shoot the ball, handle the ball, not a center. Not a center. He'll get run over like Kevin said. He's more of a power forward to me. I think I like him in that late first round. It's funny. Edey I have as the 6th best center if you start looking at where everybody has him. But I think he should, to me, if I'm an NBA GM, I'm taking him 3rd off the board. It's Sarr, it's Klingon, and it's Zach Edey, because I want the guy that I know I'm going to get, not the guy I think I'm going to get by taking a guy like Ware or Filipowski or Misi or a guy like Holmes who's undersized.
All right, I'm going to just say this real quick, and I got to let Kevin roll. For me, for my money, Edey has mastered the seal. Okay, so with his size and his seal off is undeniable. When you're 300 pounds and you're that big, and he can seal bodies off of him like no other. I have seen no college player in 15 years seal like him. I don't care who thinks what or where or when or how he's going. All I know is I think Kevin's right. If he played 12 minutes a night with his ability to seal a guy off, catch the rock, turn around, dunk, turn around, mini hook, turn around, Jimmy kiss glass, he's got all that mastered. People say he's this, that. That guy never came out of games. He played 40 minutes a night for the entire season and the entire tournament. Kevin, I got to let you go, but we're looking forward to Wednesday and Thursday on SportsGrid, our coverage of the draft. Thank you for stopping by with us on Betting Above the Rim today, my man. We're looking forward to this week. We'll see you at SportsGrid's network studios in Homedale midweek. Thank you, my man. Coach, would you argue with, you and I, we're bigs. I mean, when I play now, I got a guy say to me, man, you really have gotten fat. I go, yeah, but you can't move me in the block, and I'm scoring at will. I mean, I'm steps away from your wife sleeping with me. I mean, if I'm sealing a guy off and he can't stop me, and I got footwork, and I got a shot, I got a little hook, I got a little step back, I got a little turnaround right in your face, and you can do nothing. And I'm not 7'4". I'm 6'4". I mean, if a guy's that good with his body, I don't care what any critic or play-by-play or analyst or any talk show host or me, you, I don't care if God himself says that kid can't play. You're imagining things. I don't care what anybody says.
No, listen, like I said, it's the devil you know. And he's humongous. He's humongous. And at 7'4", he's got the sight line to see over defenses. And think about this, Pharrell.
I can't believe you had him at 6. I almost had a stroke when you said that.
No, and it's to me, where I have him and where I go are two different things. Because to me, it's more about the fit. Where can he fit, right? Does the team want an athletic big that can switch out like the kid from Baylor? Or you want a guy who can go give the ball a bucket inside? So I think that is where I am. So just because I have him at 6 doesn't mean I think he's a 6 coming off the board. I just have him 6 rated. But I think it's go ahead.
Sixth rated is my problem. I'm going to ask you, Flush. We already saw what he did to Klingon in the title game. Klingon is not better than him. That's all there is to it. Bro, he used him like a hooker. I mean, honestly, he used him. That Klingon could do nothing against him. That's it. That's all you need to know. They went head-to-head in a championship game, and one guy dominated the other. That's all there is to it. UConn won the game because they're a better team, flat out. But when it came down to those two playing, I mean, he used him, Coach.
Oh, he did, but I think when you listen, if I'm a GM, I'm taking Donovan Klingon over Zach Edey. I'm sorry because no.
And he will go higher, but they're all going to be wrong.
But to me, part of that is when you draft on what they are, yes, but Klingon's got an incredible upside here. And let's be honest, he didn't have to score 20 points a night because he had Newton, he had Castle, he had Caravan, he had Diarra coming off the bench, right? He had Cam Spencer. He had more. Fact of the matter is, if Zach Edey doesn't score 25 points a game, that team is in top 25 in the country.
But he did.
But it's different. It's because Klingon didn't have to. He wasn't needed to. He was used differently.
Listen, over my dead body, would I ever root for anyone from Purdue? But I'm actually rooting for that kid.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
I remember John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently.
Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys making this look so easy.
Tyrrell having a day. The Englishman 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the open night lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Right, honestly, this guy, Coach, is you know what you are? You're making me dizzy. You're making me dizzy again with you're crossing me up. Like I'm in there. I'm like trying to chase TJ McConnell around the floor as a slow, fat, old big, trying to chase that mosquito around the floor with you taking me all over the place on this big board. Now, I don't disagree with you that this is about needs and placement for those needs and et cetera, right? Like with draft picks. It's not about where you have them ranked as, let's just hypothetically say, centers. As the centers I have it right here. You have Klingon 1, Ware from Indiana 2, Filipowski, Duke 3. This guy, Missy, who's Lionel Messi's nephew. I'm just kidding. And then Zach Edey at 6. But you have Edey going 3rd. Now, listen, I like the kid Ware because he played at Indiana. But come hell or high water, I don't care that he played at Indiana anymore because he was there for 1 year and now he's going into the NBA. But he's going way later in this draft than Zach Edey is. And he's soft. That kid, I mean, honestly, my legs weigh more than his whole body.
And I want people to understand this because I think you guys are just taking too much of the fact of their positional rankings. On my big board, they're separated by 5 spots. It's not like I have Edey as like the 50th ranked player and I have Ware as the 30th ranked player, 20th ranked player. I have Ware 19th and Edey 25th. I have 4 bigs in that 19 to 25 range on my big board. So I don't think I'm talking about something which is like, in the NFL, like, and I think that's where you get lost sometimes is when you start seeing positional rankings, you're like, oh, well, this guy's way off. Zach Edey I have as my 25th best player on my overall big board, right? I don't think that's terribly off with the fact that Ware is 19th on my big board. I have Ware 19th. I have Filipowski 20th. If you want to say Kyle Filipowski's a power forward, okay, I can give you that, right? Then Missy I have as a 22nd, and I have Edey as 25th. I don't have Zach Edey 40th or 50th, right? So I think that's the thing you have to look at. Deron Holmes I have as the 28th best player on my big board. And then you go down to the next center, and it's Adam Bona, the kid out of UCLA, and he's 43rd. So, like, it's not like they're, a guy like Ware and Edey are 25 slots away on my big board overall. It's just the fact that I have 4 bigs that are right in that 19 to 25 range. And let's be honest, bro, they can go in any order, or in case like Edey can go above all of that and go in the lottery.
Coach, the Spurs have the 4 and the 8, and the Blazers have the 7 and 14. What do you think these two franchises are looking to do with these great selections?
Well, listen, I don't know if you call it great selections because it's not the best travel of all time. But when you look at a team like Portland, they have the young guards, right? So you think they have to go somewhere in the front court. I think a 3 and D forward was something to look at. Some kind of a defender would be someone I would look at Portland. So that's why when you look at a guy like Portland, that's where I'm looking at a guy like T-John Saloon going at that spot. He can improve his jump shot a little bit. He's 6'9". He's got long range. Could he end up being a 3 and D guy? That's where I like someone like him to go right around there. So that's where you probably go at 7. At 14, it's got to be a lot of it where the draft kind of runs. It's going to be interesting, Pharrell, because when you get past, let's say, pick number, I would say 10, right? You have interesting cases of you have a ton of guards, but do the teams really want guards, right? Utah at 10, I think they take a guard. Chicago at 11, they just got Giddey. Are they going to go take a guard? Oklahoma City at 12, I don't think they need a guard. They're loaded at the guard spot, even getting Caruso. A team like 13 with Sacramento, they have Kevin Huerter, maybe not believing him a ton, but you have Huerter, you have Malik Monk, and you have De'Aaron Fox. So now you go to 14, like, what do you do there? Do you go and take another guard there at 14, or do you trade out? I could see Portland maybe trading out for more draft assets if someone, let's say like a Devin Carter or someone, starts falling in the draft, even though I think Devin Carter goes top 10. If he starts sliding, he gets past 10, he may be at 14 where a team wants to come get him. So I think that is where it becomes interesting. It's because of the draft, you may see teams drop back, but you may see teams start to come up because I think teams will base draft more on need than actual potential at times.
Can you show, perhaps, is there any chance we could throw up that Portland roster again, what they have on that team already? Because I'm going to throw this out at you. If I can see that roster by any chance. Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just, here we go. So, they do have Ayton. I'm not sure he'd be, like, for me, the greatest teacher or, someone to bring along a Zach Edey. but I literally could see the Blazers going, mid-range, like on a 6'6" type player like Williams at Colorado, and then having, with that second pick, taking Zach Edey with the 14 and thinking that they can develop him. Now, I'm not, like I said, I think Ayton is lazy. And I'm not sure, frankly, that he even likes playing in the NBA. I mean, I'm serious when I say that. Like, he was miserable in Phoenix, was he not? And then he went up there, and what did he do up there besides complain? He has not been a happy dude in the NBA at all, Coach. And he's not the guy I need. Like, I would much rather, like what KW said about, like, Embiid could help him. I think Embiid could bring him along and show him the light. Do you think that Portland's smart enough to develop Zach Edey?
To me, you have three bigs on the roster. If you bring them in, and three centers who can only play center position, which means you got to move one of them between Rob Will and DeAndre Ayton. Now, DeAndre Ayton, is he going to have? I think he's going to have 2 years left on his deal at $34 million. Is he going to be able to grab you something, or Rob Williams, who can't stay healthy? So yeah, if you want to go take him, but to me at that point, you got to move one between Ayton and Rob Will.
So when we come back, we'll talk about the fact, among other things, that they're having it over 2 days. Like Kevin had talked about earlier, the fact that it's a 2-day draft now as opposed to always being one night. Now it's Wednesday and Thursday this week. We'll talk about that with Coach Young on Betting Above the Rim.
Nashville, help me welcome to the stage the captain of Crushers GC and the 2024 U.S. Open champion, Bryson DeChambeau.
Gosh, I'm trying to hold it in right now. The support's been overwhelming.
Tickets for Nashville this week are nearly sold out. We are calling this the Bryson effect.
Won the Saudi Open on the Asian Tour in April, and he won the International Series event in Macau in March, beating David Puig in a playoff. Here's a man with 9 career wins, 3 of them on the DP World Tour. 33 years of age from Sacramento, and he is making the most of his chance.
And remember, John Catlin playing as a reserve for Charles Howell III, who's injured. If he were to go on to win this, he gets those points. That would move him right at the top 24 number. Move him at 20th currently.
Yeah, another beautiful shot. These guys making this look so easy.
Having a day. The Englishman, 6 under par. He shares the lead with Abraham Answer for the time being, at least. Now this is Abraham Answer to stay at 7 under and in all likelihood have the overnight lead, and that is wonderfully done. Abe Answer with a 64.
This is what Live Golf's about, man. I had a vision of this 2-3 years ago, seeing what the potential could be, and this is just the start. I mean, with how much support we have out here, and it's just the start, that's a testament to what Live Golf is and what the Crushers are doing, what our team's doing, and what we're trying to do for Nashville and places all across the globe. So super excited for the future of Live.
Betting Above the Rim brought to you by BetMGM. Coach, that Williams kid at Colorado, that's Jalen's brother, right? And he's rugged. A lot of people think he's a top 10 pick. Do you think he's a top 10 pick? And then I want to get your opinion on the fact that it's a 2-day draft on Wednesday and Thursday as opposed to being a 1-day draft.
Yeah, I do have Cody Williams right now as my 11th best player on the board. So he's basically right there, Pharrell, overall. Cody Williams is someone that is very much a dynamic player. Listen, some people think he can go in the top 5, but he's got a smart feel for the game, just like he's taller. I think he's about 6'6", 6'7". But here's the thing, Pharrell, this is what measurables, right? 7'1" wingspan. That also helps you defensively because of your length, right, and your ability to defend because you could be able to do that. So he can handle the ball. You know what? Is he? With his wingspan, maybe you could play him as a shooting guard. Maybe you go 3-guard line, but play him as a small forward. But to me, he's got to be able to shoot the ball a little bit better. He doesn't have that incredible burst, but I do think he is a guy that's going to be somewhere in that 9, 10, 11, 12 area. I think he's definitely a lottery guy.
And your thoughts on the draft being over 2 days now as opposed to what it's always been?
Repeat that one more time. I'm sorry, Pharrell. I didn't hear you.
The draft being 2 days as opposed to 1.
I mean, listen, it's because of Bronny, right? Like, let's be honest, Pharrell. It'll be interesting. If Bronny goes in the first round, how much intrigue do you think is in the NBA draft for round 2? Between me and you, I don't think there's much. So I think they're banking on, they're hoping this kid goes round 2. Now, it's a way to stretch it out. Maybe people will stay up as late at night. Listen, for me, it's better because I'm not, going off air at midnight on Wednesday night. It's a little bit later. But to me, I think it's also another way for the NBA to try to get revenue dollars. And obviously, Bronny does move the needle because he's the most polarizing player in this draft by far.
I think it's, frankly, copycat. I think that they're trying to steal the thunder from everything in sports, much the way the NFL does. The NFL on Thursday and Friday, it is absolutely enormous. By Saturday, people want to gouge their eyes out, but, they still have the third day, which is huge. And I think more so for fans that are there, that it's fun to be at the draft for, let's say you couldn't go Thursday or Friday. Let's say you had a job that you weren't allowed to get out of it. And so you went Saturday. You'd probably still have a good time. But the NFL has, cornered the market on making the draft kind of must-see TV. People love to watch that NFL draft. And I'd say more so on Thursday and Friday than Saturday. So what I think the NBA is doing is the same thing. They're copycatting. They're saying, we are the NBA. We are so popular, it's not even funny, which it is. And they believe they can do this over 2 days and make it just as exciting as it ever was. And like you talk about with sponsors and doubling up on making money, no better way to do it than add a second day. Now, listen, the NHL draft, funerals are more entertaining. And the Major League Baseball draft is a nightmare. That's a nightmare. Like, I went to the NHL draft. I've been to it before when I was with the Thrashers. And now, thank God they're having it at the Sphere this year, this week, whatever it is, the 28th, 29th, whatever I think the dates are. They're having it soon in Vegas at the Sphere. The only reason that is going to be cool at all, that draft, is because it's at the Sphere. Because no one cares about that draft. I am telling you, I am certain I am right. I don't even have to guess or suggest any hint that I'm wrong. No one cares about that. No one on earth cares about that. Baseball, no one cares. Baseball teams care. Hockey teams care. That's it.
You could put 10 NHL players on a board and say, Coach, can you name any of them? I mean, unless it's like a brother, probably not, which is only about 10 of them. But you put some in the Sphere, Coach will be interested. I'll be a hockey fan for one night just to go to the Sphere.
But fair enough, the NBA believes, Adam Silver and all of these franchises believe in their own minds that they're as big as the NFL. They do. The NBA believes that they are as big as the NFL, and I think they're wrong, but I think they are second in line to the NFL.